Good afternoon and welcome back to Boyles of Kilorglin, and we are here in the garden centre that is just bursting with colour. I'm Alan Finn and I hope you are well and your garden is looking fantastic. As always, we'd love to hear from you. We'd love to hear any questions you might have. You can put them in the comment section below, and do send us in some pictures of how your garden is looking after all the tips that we've been given so far this year. Right now it's time to get some more tips from our gardening expert and join Jer, who's just over here. Joining us here on the Garden Show yet again is our gardening expert, Jer. Jer, how are we doing this week?
Good, can't complain.
All good?
Good. Plenty of colour in the garden centre, so we can't complain.
It's fantastic. Okay, Jer, so this week we're going to start talking about perennials and what we need to do, or what the listeners need to do to help them along, because the one thing about them is that they can keep regenerating, so to speak.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about what sort of phase of the year now this is for them.
Yeah, so like we're coming into August now, so it's kind of coming to the time of the year where you have a lot of spin flowers on perennials. So you might have remembered a couple of weeks back at my own place we had Nepeta out the front of the house. It's time now they're kind of, the flowers kind of browning off them at the moment, so it's to go in, give them a good haircut. There will be plenty of new growth underneath it. Okay. So you go back to that new growth, and within a couple of weeks again they'll be flowering again. The same with lupins. Cut them back, delphiniums, cut the old heads off them, give them a feed, and they'll all rebound, and they'll be flowering well into August and hopefully into September.
So are you looking, Jer, for the new growth, or how far are you cutting back normally with these?
With the likes of the lupins, you'll be going back to, you'll be just taking you'll be deadheading. You'll be taking the new flower out of it.
Right.
Like if we look at the Veronica here, they're all new flowers coming on it.
Yeah.
This one is spent, so you'll be just going back into the foliage to get rid of the spent flower.
Okay.
And to be loads of new buds coming on that. This will flower right up to September, and if the weather's mild enough, it'll go into October. So any of the spent flowers, take them there. Go out with your secateurs, your scissors, pull them off. I'll just pull it there with the hand. My nails are sharp enough. And you can see there that just tidies it up. And again, you've got a good healthy.
And already there's a couple of shoots that are just beginning to develop and start.
If you go into it, these will all be new shoots here coming out of here. So yeah, no, it's just an important time of the year just to go out when the garden is getting that bit tired looking. Yeah. Go out, deadhead everything, maybe give it a good feed. And they'll bounce back and they'll be flowering again by the middle of the month.
So, like, obviously, if it is getting to that stage, as you said, where they're browning off and stuff, it's not a case of feeding them. It's the best thing to do is literally just go
tidy them up, clean them back. Especially with the Nepeta, because all the flower comes on new growth. So the growth that's there already is basically useless. So just go out, cut it back. And I'm telling you, Alan, within a week, 2 weeks, you'll see a massive difference in them again.
Okay, great. Now, a lot of people obviously are kind of worrying that, by the time August comes, a lot of the early flowering is kind of gone. It's withered. Some of them could be spent. I know that's a word you like using a lot. That the flowers are spent. So, what sort of extra added colour could people be looking at, even to plant at this late stage?
Yeah. So, like, we're coming to August, so we'd have August and September flowering perennials. We'd have some shrubs as well that'll be flowering. That'll be coming into flower. So the first one, it's not in flower yet, but when it comes into flower, Alan, it is fabulous. You see it all over the county.
Okay.
It's
what's that one
called?
Susie. Black-eyed Susie,
which is Rudbeckia. So it's like it's like a sunflower. But it comes up in masses of flowers. So that will flower through August and September. Yeah. And it's a good late addition to the garden. Right. And again, like the more you deadhead it again when it does come into flower, it'll just keep bouncing back and bouncing back.
And it's not fussy about where you put it, or does it need a lot of sun, or what is it?
Yeah. So you'll be looking at partial to full sun. Yeah. Again, over the winter they don't like sitting in the wet soil, so an elevated kind of well-drained site. or if you do think it's going into a wet soil, it's just maybe to form a little bit of a mound so that the water just runs off it.
And
just
when you say sunflower, then is it a yellow?
So black centre with a yellow outside. So it is a stunning one for the later on in the year. Yeah.
Okay.
So so we'd have the likes of the Erodium again. Again, no need to deadhead this really. It'll regenerate itself.
Now that looks like one of those ones that would cover a lot of ground.
It does. It's probably nearly at its full height, but it's a good ground cover.
Okay.
And again, this will flower May right through till again first frost whenever we get it. Hopefully it'll be very, very late.
Would you see a lot of those in like rockeries and stuff? Sure.
Brilliant.
Is that the sort of thing? Yeah. You can just tell from the look of it. It looks like
again,
a good one.
you're looking at a well-drained soil, and again, they're nicer to plant in clumps or in straight lines.
Yeah.
Plant them in a few colours, a few plants together. They stand out that bit more. Or if you're doing kind of more of a structured garden, you could go every second one with another plant just for contrast.
And speaking of standing out, we've got our agapanthus.
And I know we do mention them a lot, but I have to say, we go through phases of having our favourite plants, but agapanthus is definitely up there at the moment with me.
Really?
They're just stunning.
Now we had covered, I think, the white one before with Trish, but that one is a beautifully.
Yeah, no, the blues are probably the most common, but when you see the white inside in beds, they're just fabulous. They're just so good to look at.
Yeah.
And again, they hold their flower quite well, so you get quite a bit of the summer. These are nearly spent, but there's still a few.
There's still a few extra buds
coming.
Burston, yeah.
So I just leave it be and just leave it do its own thing, and come later on the year, it's just the flower comes on a spike, so it's to take the whole stem when you're deadheading. And the foliage will stay evergreen then for the winter.
Okay, it does.
So it stay nice and green.
Excellent.
They're ideal for pots because the roots don't like to expand too much. The roots prefer to be clumped together,
and stuff,
nice and compact. So if you are planting them into the ground, it's nearly to put them into kind of a container.
And then put them in the ground in a container.
In a container, just to keep them together.
Yeah.
And over the years, then you can split and divide them as well, and that'll like out of this plant, within 3 or 4 years, you could get another 4 or 5 plants out of it.
Okay.
So
good.
they are brilliant. They're a brilliant plant to have in any garden.
Yeah.
Absolutely love them at
the moment. You love them, okay, right. You've got a real soft spot for them, Jer. You do.
After that, then we'd have the likes of the lavenders. They'll all be still bursting into colour for the next few weeks.
Oh,
this is an unusual one now.
As soon as you pulled it out there, the smell
just rose, yeah.
Oh.
This is stunning. This is called the Grande Blue and White. You get a Madrid purple as well. That's quite a nice one.
A Madrid purple.
Purple, yeah,
okay,
yeah. Quite absolutely lovely. But again, just for our listeners there, just the shape of the flower, it's so different. So you've
so unusual.
You've the purple, and then you've the
white kind of top on it.
It's nearly like a separate flower again on the top of it.
It looks, yeah.
But they're absolutely stunning. Again, with all lavenders, well drained soil, plenty of grit, and again, when you're planting them, I'd nearly just keep them a little bit proud of the soil. Just don't plant them too deep.
Yeah.
Keep them up that little bit higher.
Okay.
And it'll do them the world of good. It'll keep them fresher for longer.
So really, Jerry, you're saying don't leave them in pots. Or do they work better?
No,
the ground,
into the pots. But again, if you're putting them into pots, just keep them a little bit higher. So when you do water them, that the water literally just runs off them. And that's a lovely kind of a pinky. And these are off. They'd be classed as French lavenders, but they're absolutely stunning.
I was going to say that looks like a kind of a pinky purple version of the other, but
like we have the English lavender there as well in stock. There's a lovely blue. We've covered that in the past.
Yeah.
But again, just the scent. If you've any warm day, the scent just lifts out.
I just got it there now, and it's a beautiful, beautiful smell. So, Jared, talk to me about this one. What we got here now? What I've got?
Derlucantinum. So this is Cloud Columbus. And again, it's different again to the normal traditional daisy.
Yeah.
Like this one, it's very, very feathery in the outside.
It's that's exactly when the name Cloud kind of summed it up, but I would say feathery as well, because the white petals on it are really they're like a plume of feathers.
They're just
very
stunning.
Unusual.
And all that they require just a quick deadhead when they start to brown off.
Yeah.
And they'll flower right up again till again first frost. So we'll be hoping into October they'll be flowering. Mm-hmm. And again, we have different daisies as well in the garden centre. Like we've the Cosmos, that'll be daisy like, we've the Osteospermums that Trish went through last week, I think. Mm-hmm. And like just beside you there, we've another kind of daisy, but it's a different kind of flower again. It's kind of it's still feathery, but it's kind of got a bigger, whiter flower on it.
A bigger leaf, kind of flower leaf. Yeah,
so again, they're this time of the year, just to add that bit of colour, they're brilliant, and they just add so much for the next couple of months.
Now we had a whole show on them, but we've still got another one here at the back. The big one here at the back, Jer. Tell me about.
So they're a hydrangea. They're piniculata, but they just hold their flower for so long.
Yeah.
This one is a confetti. So I think we went through this one again a couple of weeks ago, but it would have been only in bud. But it's just to show people the colour that's coming onto them now. Yeah. So this will change a couple of colours over the next couple of weeks. It'll eventually end up kind of a pinky colour.
Right. But it's again, real kind of a yellowy
again,
green.
Like if anyone out there is having a wedding or christenings or anything like that, and they want to spruce up pots outside front doors, they're ideal, and they're brilliant for having in the background for photos as well. They just look so well.
Stunning, yeah. Really nice.
And I suppose one of the big plants this time of the year as well, we've got a couple of them here, and it's the Buddleia. It's the butterfly bush.
Buddleia. Oh, butterfly bush.
These are absolutely, like we have a bench of them there. When these are being flower now in the next few weeks, literally you could put your hand over it and you just see the butterflies raising out.
There's actually quite a few.
There's a butterfly just flew over your head there.
Just flew over my head there, yeah, absolutely.
But they're absolutely brilliant. These will grow in the back seat of your car. They are so resilient.
Are they really that hardy?
I've seen them growing out of cracks of walls, but they're the wild Buddleia. These are cultivated.
Okay.
So the one I have in my hand here is a ground cover. If you don't have an area for a big Buddleia, this would be ideal to put in the front of a border.
Because that's what I mean. I was going to ask you there. Like, is it unusual for you to so flat? It's very flat to our listeners on radio.
But again, the butterflies love it because they love feeding on it. So like if you do want to have a butterfly garden. The Buddleia is a brilliant one. I think Trish covered the Scabiosa last week. They'd be another one good for the butterflies. And again, we have different colours. So they come in a kind of a darker purple called Black Knight. We get them in whites as well, and we get them in pinks and kind of a bluey kind of a purple as well.
Right.
So they're a great addition to any garden this time of the year.
And the butterflies, it's always nice to have them around the garden.
That's it.
It's a real lovely addition.
They are nice to see around.
As you say, the kids love them. They're fascinated by them as
well.
well.
Massively. It's nice to bring in the different insects into the garden.
Yeah.
And this is another one that brings in a nice few different species as well. This one is, again, I know we keep going on about it, but this is good for the bumblebees.
Okay.
So when these come in flower, literally every day you could see 7 or 8 bumblebees on them.
What's the name of it, Jer?
It's a hebe.
Oh, it's a hebe?
It's a new hebe that came out.
That surprised me now, because I wasn't...
Yeah, no, it's a little bit different, but it's called Hebe Donna. Ima is the variety.
Okay, Hebe Donna.
But there's hundreds of different varieties of these now on the market.
Right.
But I do like the purple and the white flower.
And when you say they're new, Jer, like, is it that they come from different countries?
Yeah, so
where is this?
Every year, like, there's people working in the background in nurseries, and they'll be coming on with different new varieties of different plants every year. So these would have come I'd say we're probably selling 5 or 6 years now.
Okay.
But 10 years ago, you wouldn't have got them in any garden centre.
Yeah.
So this is the same. This is in Edena as well. This is golden catter. But again, it's the foliage, and this will come out in the beautiful purple flower as well in August.
Okay,
So again, if you have a lot of greenery in the garden, it's just nice to bring in the variegated
and
leaves.
You see, that's what I would always associate a hebe is that now with the variegated leaves.
Yeah, listen, we've so many different hebes.
I know, they're beautiful.
There are just so many varieties.
But it's nice that they flower, because I always kind of thought that the hebes were mainly just the variegated
foliage.
leaves.
No, the majority of hebes now we get in would be flowering. Like we do get in we would have covered it in the past, the rhubarb and custard. That'll be more foliage.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
But listen, every year there's new hebes coming out. It's just to keep on top and just educate ourselves on it.
Yeah. So I guess the big thing there is to keep coming into the garden centre, really, and keep checking out and just find out what's new. And the main thing, obviously, Jer, we're always trying to say it, is talk to you, because people will come in and they might wander around. But the information you can get just from that, the different types that's going to flower in late August. Yeah, I'm looking at it there and I'm thinking, that's just going to be foliage. All these little things it's
yeah,
good to ask.
but just referring back to previous shows, it's just to come in as well. Every plant is a different height, so it's just to get that little bit of advice. And when you do come into the garden centre at the moment, it is bursting with colour.
Yeah, no, it is. It's really
so
good.
no, we've plenty colour there just to add into the garden.
Brilliant. So that's our second wind for the perennials. So we need to remember that, folks. And also just to add some beautiful late colour with some fantastic hebes and some lovely agapanthus and geranium as well. Thank you very much, Jer. That is lots and lots of information to come in. I'm going to nick that lavender because it smells amazing. Sorry, I'm not actually going to nick it, I promise. But it's a beautiful lavender, lovely smell. Jer, thanks a million. As always, it's been great being here in Boyles of Kilorglin. Do make sure you call in, and of course, as always, if you have any questions, go onto our Facebook page, leave a question underneath the video, or you can get in contact with us at Radio Kerry at any time, and we'll try and get to your questions as quick as we can. From myself, Jer, and everyone here in Boyles, we wish you the best, and we'll talk to you again next week. Happy gardening.